We're definitely gonna have fun in this one, and we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. We're here talking about steamy scenes and books and romance. So by all means, we're gonna have each of the authors introduce themselves and kind of talk about what they do. So Stuart, we'll start with you.
Hey, I'm Stuart Gross. I do villains as protagonists, so bad people doing bad things for fun and profit, and they win with no sign of redemption arc in sight. So if there's a slime monster in the dungeon with tentacles called Captain Hentai, you know exactly what is about to happen.
And then Misty, go ahead.
Hi, I write the cozy fantasy I Ran Away to Evil. And the official published version is only one pepper, but behind the Patreon wall, there are more peppers. They're spicy scenes. So, and I am an avid fantasy spice reader, so happy to be here.
And then Richie.
Hi, I'm Richie. I'm the one of the hosts of Chat and Stats, a LitRPG podcast, and also future narrator and avid reader of all things spice. So, I'm happy to be here.
And then Andy.
Hi, I'm Andrea Parsnell. I am an audiobook narrator, and I do a lot of work in harem. And I enjoy spicy scenes in my fun time reading and also in my professional reading.
Nice. But yeah, so essentially, if you have any kids around, put them away. We're going to be talking about, sex, penis.
Start learning early.
Sex, penis, vagina, the whole 9 yards. So
this is the After Dark episode. Let's go.
Correct. So here, guys, we're gonna, like I said, so we're gonna be talking about spicy stuff. So by all means, let the colors fly. So we'll start off with I got a couple questions for you guys. Starting off with we got to start off with this one. What's the favorite scene that you guys have in your books or that you've narrated when it comes to spiciness?
I can do that, Paul, Paul asked, so there we go.
Oh, dang, Paul's in the chat. God.
Yeah, it's gonna get a little unhinged now.
I have a funny one because my mom is my editor when I'm working independently, and my mom has narrated William D. Aaron stuff, Randy Darren stuff, Daniel stuff, like whole nine. Edited. Sorry, she's edited all of it. Dan the Barbarian, she edited it, so she is well familiar with spicy scenes. And my favorite one is in the first Wild Waste, second Wild Waste, one of them. I apologize, it's been a very long time. Petra is a soldier ant, and the main character has relations with Petra. Sex, we can say it in here. He fucks Petra, and my mom from the other side of the house. I'm just sitting. I lived with my mom at the time. I literally hear from the other side of the house, "He fucks an ant, really?" And it still makes me laugh to this day.
How about you, Richie?
So haven't narrated or written anything. I'm currently in the process of narrating a book, but it's not spicy. So I'll save that for later.
We'll make it spicy.
I don't think this one I can make spicy.
You can make anything spicy.
I mean,
true.
Feet could be involved as for people who don't know who I am, I'm the foot guy because of Matt Dinneman. Thanks, fucking Matt Dinneman. Thank you, Geneva.
Oh, okay.
So
now we know. Now I know where that comes from.
They're paying for my contracts at this point. I'm just reselling them at this point. So I don't torment kittens. Fuck all of you.
That's incredible.
It's evolved. It's evolved.
Oh, that's great.
But I think probably one of my favorite spicy scenes has to come from either Apocalypse Gate or Aether's Revival. It's a tie between those. It's hard for me to pick an actual, favorite scene.
Gotcha.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
And for you, Misty?
Okay, so I will say that the most fun I had was probably the spicy scenes for Keith and Henrietta from I Ran Away to Evil, only because it was very satisfying that she actually gets to finally lick his clavicle. Just because she has been like obsessing over these this part of his body for chapters, like 150,000 words. And it was just so satisfying to write. She licked his clavicle. But I will say also that in my book 2, I have a beast man and a half giantess. And the best part of that was actually a comment left by one of my readers, which is, "We're not beating the furry allegations with this one, Chief."
Very true.
That was good. I like that.
And Stuart, what would be your favorite scene that you've either written or read in any of your books?
Oh, written or read in any of my books, I'd have to go with the time that in my story, Rules-Free VR MMO Life, which was one of my early ones, where just out of the in the tutorial area, the guy goes into the tutorial dungeon and sees 2 elven princesses strung up by a female warlock, and has a game with the warlock where he says that he can satisfy her, and if he does, then he gets to do whatever he does, and then spits and roasts her for the 2 elves and maidens to eat, dulcet style.
When you say spit roast, are you actually?
There are 2 kinds of people in the world. There are people who know the cartoonist named Dulcet, and those who can look at barbecue the same way ever again.
Oh, spit roast. I thought you said spit and roast her. And I was like, oh, God, the spitting thing. That's the one thing I can't.
Well, there was a fire involved and a,
fair.
8-foot-long metal spit, but
I like that my red line is apparently spit, but I'm fine with spit roasting.
Yeah.
That's cannibalism never hurt anyone. Except for the people you're eating. That's fine.
But so I mean, everyone's comfortable here with talking about sex, so that's one, that's good because you're in this panel. But 2, where did you guys come to the conclusion that you guys were comfortable with it? Because obviously sexuality, at least on Western culture, most Western cultures, it's sort of a taboo. So where did it come to say like, hey, I'm fine with writing this, and it is what it is?
I spent a lot of time on the internet.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean,
and how about you, Misty?
I picked up my first lurid romance novel set, like a Regency novel, when I was 10, not knowing it was spicy. But it was a murder mystery. So when they tried to take the book away from me before I figured out who the murderer was, the answer was no. So I went to the library and just sat in the library and read it. And I will tell you that Stephanie Lawrence I needed a dictionary. I would literally sit in the library with a dictionary and was like, what's conflagrate? What is, like, it was just every single kind of word you could use for hot.
We'll look that word up now.
I was sitting there like, okay, I don't know what's happening. I don't care. But as long as I find out who the murderer was. And yeah, I just kept reading them. So I never really had a problem with sexuality. I didn't think anything of it. My mom was very straightforward. Like, this is how it don't do it. No teen pregnancy. Good job. I hope you're a lesbian. You're not a lesbian. I'm sorry.
I mean, just to point out that lesbians can get pregnant too, but
it's true. It is true.
Richie, how about for you?
So, I mean, I guess I've always been kind of comfortable with it. Never really, talked about it in school or anything like that. So I really didn't care. But then after I graduated, I had a friend who upon meeting new people, one of the first things he would ask was, "What's your kink?"
Yeah.
So, but this is
I mean,
also
you learn all you need to know about somebody from that.
Oh yeah, but this is also the friend that had the nickname Grandmaster Hentai. So it's
So he was looking to get new kinks or to say, "Here,
Oh, yeah,
I
no.
have research material."
and there's a story behind that too, for how he got the name. I don't know if we want to talk about it here, but I could.
We can talk about it offline.
I was gonna say, I'll say
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
but I
and
mean, I've always like watching, anime or stuff like, hey, titties on screen, neat. So, but reading it, I didn't realize until I had picked up Super's X Heroes from Sound Booth Theater, because I saw Sound Booth Theater, not realizing it was a harem. No, it was Sound Booth Theater Burlesque. Did not realize, and I picked up a box set. And that kind of opened up a whole new thing for me, and I've never looked back.
A whole new world.
There were some new holes.
Oh, hello. And then Andy, how about you? What? Where did you kind of figure out like, hey, this type of stuff doesn't bother me?
I guess I'll be the awkward worship leader's daughter in the chat.
Nice.
I was very sheltered growing up, like very sheltered. Although my mom was very pragmatic, so it was like, this is a thing that happens. This is a thing that mommies and daddies do when they love each other very much and they're married. So don't. But that's a thing that exists. If you have questions, ask. But otherwise, stay away from it. Cool. Done. I hunted down everything I could. I have been a deviant since very young. So I was like, I would get onto the family computer and look at Cosmo.com to find out how to please my man at 11 o'clock at night when everyone else is asleep. And I'm like, I got this on lock when it comes up. I'm gonna be ready.
Amazing.
So
Nice.
that was it. I when I started doing audiobooks, there was a lot of like desire for female narrators in harem and shit. And so I was like, I narrate with my real name. I don't have any as I've gotten older, I'm like, I'm me. Fuck off. So now I'm like, I'm very sex positive and stuff. So everybody grows up away from home.
And you have to be. No, go ahead, Stuart.
I said, own it or don't do it.
Yeah.
True. And then we got a question here from Paul. So let's see what he's asking. Have you ever got uncomfortably aroused while writing or narrating these scenes? Just a lots of heavy breathing. So let's see. Actually, I guess this would go specifically. Writing and narrating. So yeah, let's start with Andy first.
So I get this one is a pretty like everyone asks this because it's like, have you ever gotten turned on while you're working? And it's like, bitch, I read that line 37 times at that point. Like I have read that line so many times and tried to pitch my moan exactly right. Usually arousal is the furthest thing from my mind in those moments. It's like I am mechanically trying to sound like a character legitimately without making people uncomfortable to a degree, but also keeping it legitimate and like real to the scene, yada, yada, yada. Very clinical. When I'm pre-reading, sure. Like, absolutely. Because that's me time. But otherwise, when I'm working, no.
That's research.
That's
research.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about you, Richie?
Once again, haven't done any spicy
right.
scenes or anything, but I mean, I guess I could say that, while I was in the booth the other day, Paul messaged me and then I got turned on. So does that count?
Don't feed him too much because then he's just gonna stay out and ask more dumb questions.
Well, I mean, we gotta feed his ego a little bit, right?
True.
Do we really?
It's his kink, so I gotta feed into it a little bit so he gets enjoyment out of this.
Yeah.
And then for you, Misty.
So I have, I usually write when I'm aroused as opposed to write and then get aroused. So I'll be like, oh, I'm all out of my light novels, my spicy light novels. I've read them all. They're all up to date. I have to wait 2 or 3 more days for the next chapter. I'm not going to read a regular book because I don't do that anymore. So,
I mean, when you say regular book, does it have pages and does you read? That's it. That's a regular book.
I barely can manage KU, and it has to be poorly written because like, okay, there's an exception. The exception was recently I read the Krampus retelling, and that was perfection. That was everything I ever wanted in life.
I'm gonna add that to my
But yeah,
list
I'll
now.
just be sitting there and be like, wow, I just really need something to read that is spicy and light novel web serial-esque. I guess I'm just gonna have to write it myself. And there's often times where I'll be like up in the middle of the night and just be like, I'm so tired and I can't sleep and I'm so horny. I'm just gonna write 3 spicy chapters between 1 and 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's fine. We'll just pretend this is fine.
That's great.
Nice.
That's
Nice.
catching the moment. Brilliant, actually.
Get up in the morning. Husband, you're driving the child to school today. I was up till 4 writing spice. That's just how it was.
How about you, Stuart?
I sometimes I will take a break. See, the thing about working from home is you can take a break from your writing to do research, and then you are relaxed and you can continue writing.
Nice. Can you explain more on this, Reese? No, I'm kidding. So with
Several
that,
sites,
actually,
one is the hub, and
right. So Paul actually had another question here, but I'm going to evolve it a little bit. So I can actually attest to this one. So I actually did have to look up a specific porn scene because of one of the book. There's a sex scene in my book that I'm writing because I couldn't in my head picture. So I literally had to watch like 3 minutes of like essentially a female being on top of another male to be able to describe the certain scene of them kind of bouncing up and down essentially on them. So that was, and I my wife was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, it's literally a book.
Research.
Yeah, and she's like,
Never gonna
she's
believe
like, why are you weird? I'm like, I don't know.
Why are you
And-
weird?
see, you get the wife to do the research with you.
No, it was funny is I'm literally on my computer on my personal computer, so I'm writing this stuff down. So I have dual monitors. So on one screen, I have essentially the video up, and then on the other screen, I have the manuscript, and I'm just typing away, and I'm looking back and forth, and I'm writing, and then she comes in, and I'm like literally like when you a deer in headlights type movie, you're like, it's not what it looks like. So.
But it really is.
And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh shit, I literally can't explain this one, but yeah, that's
I'm learning new things to do with you.
yeah. But yeah, that's just something that that you kind of have to. At least for me, it was purely research. Like at that time, was purely research. So it's just something that you kind of have to do because at least for me, I'm a visual person, so. I just had to kind of see like, hey, how do you describe this? How does like the motion go? Like, you know what I mean? At least for me. So has anyone else? You don't have to answer it, but has anyone else kind of do that research at least when it comes to writing a spicy scene?
I've done a lot of research, and then I've already done the research by the time it gets to writing the scenes.
Nice.
This is crazy. I know. Because I have children, but I've had sex before.
What? Shame.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Sinner.
Gender traitor.
I do find that I spend more time thinking about what I have done in bed than what I like. That I don't usually use other people's spice for research, except for research on how not to do it, because sometimes they'll be like, and they did this thing, and I'm like, where's the elbow? Like, are you just floating? Are you hovering? Are you hovering in the air? Everyone is hovering. We're just all in G space. Anyway.
Well, magic
thank
makes
you for
science
doing
go to the
actually.
kids' table while the adults talk.
True. But again, I mean, that's why again, when I was watching this spicy video, that's why I wanted to watch it, because like describing where the position of the legs, like the hands, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to describe that, because then the reader can't you have to describe it to the reader. So you got to put that image in their head as well. So Andy, how about you? Like,
narrators, thank you. We thank
Yeah.
you for that, because I'd rather it be accurate than going, where the hell has his left leg been this entire time? Because I know that bitch ain't standing up right now.
he's playing a game of Twister in the air.
Exactly. So yeah, thank you. No, I purposely avoid. I'm with Mystic. I'm sorry, Mystic. I keep trying to call you Mystic Neptune, which
you can call me Mystic or Misty.
Okay,
Both
thank
of them are fine. They are all fake names.
okay.
Call her Mystique.
Mystique.
And then
I'm with Missy. I kind of purposely avoid it. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but porn is not exactly known for its acting quality, especially on the female actors part. It tends to be.
Wait, it's not.
It is.
Shit.
The
yeah.
internet lies.
Yeah, and most of that stuff doesn't sell real like that doesn't sell real well auditorily in an audiobook. You don't I'm not into it sounding like someone just hopped onto the hub in the middle of a book that's otherwise not about that. I want it to sound real to the moment. So yeah, no, not me.
So the pizza delivery guy wasn't supposed to do that?
I don't know how to tell you this, Richie.
step brother.
Yeah, step bro, I'm stuck.
So she wasn't actually stuck. Fuck.
Wait, they're not related?
Getting caught in the washing machine, despite the fact that there's nothing for my hand to get caught on in a washing machine. Why? Okay, you know.
But yeah, that's kind of like this is gonna be fun. And well, dude, we have 30 minutes, so we're cruising. We're cruising. With the with all this stuff, like what would you say was kind of not at least the pinnacle, but what would you say was peak fiction when it came to reading the stuff? Are there any recommendations that you kind of saw, or oh snap,
Bible Black.
Oh geez, really? You sicko!
Really? You went straight to Bible Black. Oh, I know what Bible Black.
So do I hold up Berserk now, or do I wait?
Yeah.
So also, if you're going for something more wholesome, there's a manga called Nana to Karu, which is all about BDSM.
I've not read that one.
Neither have I.
Very nice art. Very nice art.
I kind of want to, but I'll do it later for research. So, how about you, Misty? What was it essentially like? What do you consider the peak in spicy reading?
I love a lot of different types of spicy readings. I have read a lot of hentai. I have read a lot of just regular smut, urban fantasy smut, regular fantasy smut, romance smut, medieval smut. And recently I have gotten really into retelling smut. So as I said earlier, Krampus was amazing. That's an offshoot of the Nightmare Before Christmas, or not the Night Before, sorry. That's what's the one where everybody, she goes to the Sugar Plum Fairy and...
Oh, Nutcracker?
The Nutcracker. Yeah, there was a Nutcracker spice. And I love it. It's so good.
That kind of writes itself. That's great.
Yeah, she does a Rumpelstiltskin one. This is Rebecca F. Kennedy. I love all of her spice, but like the one that got me into retellings was the Sea Witch, which is a gender bent. He's the witch. He's Ursula. So that was my first also introduction to consenticles, which was really great. So it's like Little Mermaid and a male sea witch in like the best retelling ever. Highly recommend that book.
And they lived happily ever after.
Yeah, they did.
What was the title of that one again? I kind of want to check that out.
That one's The Sea Witch by Rebecca F. Kennedy. She has a couple ones. That one was absolutely my favorite. It asks a lot of questions like, why is the prince celebrating and going to these parties and dating this girl when his ship just went down with everyone on it? Like, that's a good question. Yeah, like there was plot as well as spice, and I don't need plot to enjoy the spice, but I do love when there is some semblance of. I actually really love the before part. There's a lot of spice where I open it up and it's just like one panel and then spicy scenes. I'm not that person. I need like some connection. Like Is there going to be a kidnapping? I need to see the kidnapping. Is there going to be like bondage? I need to see the setup of the bond. Like I'm here for the whole ride, not just the like 5 panels and it's done. So
Bless you.
Yeah, that's my sister. I think she's in the bathroom. So, it's all kind of, it's all perspective, by the way, because, everyone, and no kink shaming here, but what would you say, or where exactly is the limit that you guys would actually have when it comes to either writing or talking about spice? Because there's a point where, at least even for me, like, hey, we're not going past this, we're not talking about this. So where exactly do you guys draw that line as to where you would go as a professional?
no pedo.
Yeah.
Just saying it. Get it out of the way.
Yeah. No kids. Like everyone is, at least, late teens at the earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
consent for me? I won't narrate non-consent. That's good. Like, nope. If that's something that shows up in a book that I'm reading privately, if it's in the exact right circumstance, and it's even then, I'm good. Consent in the story that you read. I'm good.
It's not. For example, like I think the biggest one that at least comes to mind would at least to me would be like Game of Thrones, something that that comes very often with sex, and sometimes it's non-consensual. So. It's not done to be in a distasteful manner. It's done because of the story. So I think there has to be almost I don't even want to say artistic because it's not. But there's a way to do it. I would say, and I have.
It has to be needed for the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like it has to make sense in the story. It doesn't have. It's not supposed to be like, hey, this is a thing that's happening for fun and games.
Consensual non-consent is one thing. Non-consent is another thing. Consensual non-consent is a totally valid case.
It's fun.
Non-consent is a crime. So it's for me. There's very rarely the story that needs it. Like that's what I'll say. Like there's very rarely the story that needs it, but that is a personal line thing. So I'm in the camp of like no kids, consent's important, and with consent comes beasts. But I absolutely will read monster books. Absolutely,
I love monster
sapient beings. Yeah, those are sapient beings. So that's okay.
I have looser consent. I am very, if it's real people, 100%. If it's like,
if it's a monster that doesn't know about consent, then
I'll read it. I'll still read it.
The mimic doesn't know that it's bad because all he's been doing is hanging around with a succubus and a demon.
Nice.
I knew exactly what was going to be mentioned there.
There is there's one book, Lore Olympus, where it was for real, not consensual, not even like it was just straight up from the girl's side, and it was the most beautiful and heart-wrenching and like rip your soul out depiction of non-consent I've ever experienced in my entire life. And so I don't ever want to read it again, only because of how much I was wrecked by that. So that's where I'm like.
I read the Hades and Persephone series by Scarlett St. Clair.
Yep.
And it got to the final book, and the audiobook had a warning, and it was like, hey, on these certain chapters, there's these. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And will I go back and reread the series? I don't know. I might go back and do it up to that point. But it was like, because I mean, there's even like, there's a certain chapter in one of my favorite series of all time where the villain is going on a little rant of, what he did to this elven girl. And it's like, yes, this is designed to make you hate the villain in this scene even more.
Yeah.
But it's uncomfortable for me to listen to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm dreading the day that, if I continue with the narration game, a scene like that shows up. It's like, okay, how do I go about that? Because it takes a lot to make me uncomfortable. It takes a lot.
You are allowed to have red lines.
Yeah.
I will say that as a narrator, you are
Mhm.
fully allowed to have red lines. You are allowed to say no. No one can hold a gun to your head. It is up to the author if they'd like to remove a scene, remove a line, or if they want to go with a new narrator. Like, that's their call. You are allowed to say no. So
And
yeah,
I've had that. A narrator friend of mine called me the other day and was like, "Hey, I want to pick your brain. I read this." And they sent me the title of the book. I read the first paragraph and I was like, oh no, you have every right to turn that down. Like, that's coming from me. I won't read that. And I read a lot of stupid shit sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, one
Snuff.
thing that
I also won't read snuff.
Oh yeah, no snuff. Yeah,
No snuff. None.
No.
the one thing that I just like felt actively unclean, going through was a game called School Days.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know that one.
There was also an anime, hentai anime version of it. And yeah, the
Q's over there Google.
love triangle ending up in all sorts of death and fun stuff.
Oh,
I don't know what that-
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pulling that.
no,
Something else.
you are better off not knowing.
Yeah, no.
Like I
thank
said,
you.
I watch Bible Black and other things like that, and that made me feel actively unclean.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
I don't feel comfortable reading teacher student romance, but I will. Like if it's fine, it's fine. Where my line is if it's like one teacher not just like falling in love with a student and having that moral conundrum and then like living happily ever after, but like one teacher taking advantage of all of the students, and that's like no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's kind of on the predator.
That's creeper territory.
Mhm.
No, not that kind of show. Hey.
Hey, they're into it. Don't you kink shame your cat? How dare you?
Yeah.
That is Hermes, and he's a tyrant.
He wants us to watch.
So actually, TJ, and this is funny because this guy, he was my mentor in the military, and it's funny how we meet years later, and I'm writing a book in one of his worlds, and he's asking a question here. So he's asking a question: if you guys had to pick two vegetables to have sex, and they make a new vegetable breed, what would it be, and what flavor would you want them to be? So,
TJ, what the fuck?
For the love of God, TJ, I swear.
No ducks for you.
What? TJ's been at the gym all day and is probably excited to ask about vegetables now.
Can I start with the most vanilla of vanilla answers?
Is it vanilla?
It is a cucumber and a peach. And I really want like a peachy cucumber.
Huh.
It would be delicious, though.
That wouldn't be bad.
I'm a Ren Fair musician, and I sing A Restless Young Lady from Furland like every single event, which is just about how cucumbers are better than men. It's a whole song about like buy up your cucumbers, ladies. And,
Okay, fair enough.
Highly
So
recommend.
a cucumber that tastes like a peach. Okay, how
Yeah.
about you, Stuart?
Tomato and watermelon.
Okay.
So, and have
I think those are
tomatoes
both
that
fruits,
taste
though.
like watermelon.
Tomato could be considered a vegetable.
True. Okay. And let's see. How about you, Andy?
Broccoli and carrots, because I'd hope that you would end up with a carrot tasting broccoli that had tiny carrots on the end of tiny carrot arms, and it'd be like carrotception. And I kind of like that idea in my head.
Kind of nightmarish.
It'd be carrots on carrots on carrots. It's carrots all the way down.
Interesting. Okay. How about you,
Unlike
Richie?
the rabbit from Monty Python.
Oh yeah.
I would say a potato, because potatoes are vegetables, right? No, I don't know.
I think they're
They're tubers, but they're vegetables.
yeah.
And broccoli.
So
Because
like a
one, it's
potato
gonna
in the
be
shape-
something's getting smashed. So
It's true.
like with a hammer or with another.
no, the potato's gonna smash the broccoli because
See, that's why descriptions are important.
Yeah.
So okay, I don't even know where to start or answer that question if I had to answer it, but I'm just gonna keep that to the imagination then.
Of course you were, Paul. You just like the big things.
Jesus Christ, Paul. Maybe he should have taken this. I don't know, but let's see.
No,
Any
that
other-
would have been way too much chaos.
right. Let's see. Any other? I'll leave Paul's question for the end. I think that's the one that we'll kind of close off with. But rules are more like yeah, true, Stuart. Yeah, very true. So in the books that you guys either worked with or read, we kind of talked about consent, and then we've also talked about like the spicy, like where's the spices that you guys like, but essentially, what leads up to that? Like, are you guys just writing it just to write it? Oh, and let me see if I can explain myself better. When you're coming up to these scenes, are you writing it solely based on just sex the whole time, or narrating sex on the whole time, or is there a plot to it? Because everything has to kind of have like a pun intended climax to it, and then end to it. So where exactly do you find that in your writing or narrating?
Because I do serial novellas instead of novels, which makes it more of a episodic format. So I try to have like one chapter a book be steamy. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but usually it's not more than 3 in a 10-chapter book, and usually it's at least 1. But so I try to keep that. So there's still some plot development going on, but at the same time, the villain's going to do what the villain's going to do. And if he has the helpless heroine trapped in his tower, then, well, that's what it's going to happen.
Fair enough. And then how about you, Andy?
Oh, I just repeat the question real quick. I literally burped, said excuse me, and the thought went out of my ear. What was
So
it again?
essentially, when it comes to reading, like, do you straight up?
Oh, plot versus no plot.
Yeah.
Got it. Sorry. I just had to jump start it. It's like an old engine. Yes, in my narration, I prefer there be plot. I like it just like a few like limited scenes in a book, just because I'll get bored with just narrating straight erotica all the time. Like that'll get boring after a while. It gets rote. So I like a lot of plot, a lot of meat, Aether's Revival and stuff where you got like big sections between and stuff like that. When I'm reading, I'm full on Catherine Moon, Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, like every other scene is a sex scene. Like every other chapter is a sex scene. Like I love
Just
that.
go to Literotica and
Yeah. By the way, for the monster fuckers out there, Catherine Moon, Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, that series is amazing. So
Can't attest to that because Rachel Niekirk and she called me and she was like, "You need to read this book." Oh my god!
incredible.
And I was like,
so good.
"Oh no, I finished it in a sitting."
Oh yeah. But I have read
now
every
research for Baldur's Gate. I see.
That was a work shift right there that I was like,
Oh yeah.
"Oh fuck me!"
I had to finish it because I caught myself wanting to be done with my narration for the day so that I could go back and finish reading, because there's actual plot to it, but it is
It got delisted from Amazon for a short while, if I'm remembering everything correctly.
Also, Alpha of Bleak Isle is the other one that she writes, and that one's a single romance. If you're not into if you're not into like poly romances, Alpha of Bleak Isle is.
What was the name of the book again? The first one you said?
A Lady of Rooksgrave Manor, Tempting Monsters series.
And I think books 2, 3, and 4 they all go to different characters.
Yeah, they all go to different characters and they all tie together vaguely. Like there's a grand overplot with a bad guy, but otherwise these are all different. Like they're theaters with a bunch of adult performers, or it's a house like the Rooksgrave Manor is like where rich men go to find a partner that loves them in a certain way, kind of thing. So it's all set up, but it makes sense.
It's really fucking good. It's damn good.
I will talk about that book any day because it's just like, oh, it's
Okay,
like
Andy,
a game
so
changer ruins other
we got
books.
an
for
episode
you.
coming up that we need you on for that one. 'Cause
Yeah. And then how about you, Misty?
When I am writing, I like since I write cozy fantasy, the idea is like the satisfaction. So everything is like setting up tropes and then not fulfilling those tropes and instead just being a real person and acting like a real person and then getting the satisfaction of things actually happening. And so I did want to write spice for the books because there is that satisfaction of the characters are finally together and they're not robots. They do have needs. And so that like first sex scene, that like we're together as a couple and now let's just go have sex, was really awesome. But I will say that again, like Andy, as a reader, I've talked about the Krampus retelling so much today, but I did almost throw my phone across the room because I'd reached 52% without them having sex. And I was like, this is unacceptable. Like, I cannot go another page. Like, someone needs to stick it in something.
Yes.
Like, someone has to come because I am so angry right now.
So was the build-up like there, though?
Pardon?
Was the build-up there, though?
Oh my god, yes! They had like one bed trope already, twice. Oh my god, they literally are sharing rooms.
I have a series that I can...
I'm so angry. And I will say, I finally got to the sex scenes. They were absolutely wonderful. They're everything I wanted. And there were so many of them. And I finished the book, but I'd been writing it for so long that when I finished it, I went and like wrote a spicy chapter myself. Because I was
complain if it finishes too soon.
Yeah. There's definitely a sweet spot between I have let this burn for so long that I'm frustrated at this point because I am at 60-70% of this novella and it is nothing so far, but we're all shoving each other against walls and holding throats and talking close and nobody's doing anything.
Most anime are like that.
Yeah,
the problem with Rebecca F. Kennedy is that she has absolutely all of the characters feel lust all the time. So they're like, wow, I fucking am lusting for this person. And they have been for 30 chapters or 30 pages. And you're like, yeah, I'm with you. I'm here. I'm on the ride. Just hit the start button. We've been waiting.
Let's get to it, boys. Come on. Chop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been there.
My next book is going to be Rickley's House of Horny Monsters.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Let me know when that comes out because I will definitely read that.
It's already out. I listened to it on a podcast of Smut and Dragons today, which is one of the best podcasts ever.
Let's see. I think we'll ask one more question, and we were saving that for Paul's, and then from there we can kind of we can wrap it up. But essentially, if you could have sex with any fantasy race, which one would you pick, and why is it a Minotaur? Huh. Are you speaking from experience, Paul?
I think it's a deep-seated need on his part.
Yeah, but essentially, let's go with Richie first.
Oh no, because I got to think on this. I'm going deep on this.
Yeah, I'm rolling down. I'm sitting here going, what?
All right, cool. Hold on. Okay, so let's see. There's because obviously gnomes because size comparison. Drow. Ooh.
But then would a gnome is a gnome smaller than a dwarf?
Depends on if you mean real dwarf or not real dwarf.
Yeah.
Real dwarfs are giants. They just look like little people, but like
they built
6 feet tall.
I mean, my answer is stereotypical as hell, but a succubus.
Okay.
If
you're gonna sleep with a monster, sleep with the sex demon, damn it.
But then you might die. Depends on the succubus.
Worth it.
Also valid.
There's a book that character has sex with the succubus, and she's like, "No, I'm not gonna drain your energy because I need more of you." So
true. Yeah, that happens. There's an incubus one. It's like my incubus or something like that, and it's a very similar. Like you have.
Oh, this is a newer one, and it's fucking phenomenal.
There's a great hentai like that, Viper GTS.
I actually know that one.
It is so nice, by the way, to be on a panel where you can literally mention the just just degenerate shit that you read, and everyone's like, "Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one."
Yeah, we've all read that one.
Yeah, exactly. Great.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna go cliche. It's not a minotaur. It's a werewolf.
You know, I was actually thinking she-wolf
Yeah.
for me, but
Am I pulling open that we're not beating the furry allegations on this one, Chief? Again?
Oh, please. I can't say that I'm a furry because it's really universal.
Yeah, yeah.
care.
Monster Romantic
Yeah.
is awesome.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. There was one
She
with a
just wants
spider.
to get nodded like anyone.
The snake with two penises is a fun one, but I would say like I really like Oni, like the Japanese demon,
like demon. Okay.
hentai with snakes, but then you have to ask yourself, why would you choose an Oni snake demon when you could just go straight up dragon with two schlongs?
Valid.
Right?
Valid.
Yeah.
You guys are making me question my my answer over here. Fuck. I feel like a slime girl would be fun.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Might be a
Sliming
little
on the
too
outside
slippery
and
for
the
me,
inside.
Well, as Boxy shows,
Well, it's funny enough. The spicy book I'm currently reading.
Abilities.
And
Hey,
Paul does bring up a good question. Think of the tongue on a mimic.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I like. That's half of the reason for a werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got a long ass tongue
Mhm.
and they got weird genitals, so double bonus.
I'm surprised no one said venom yet. So
Ooh, that's weird.
Huh. I'm sure it's out there. Oh wait, Venom came out. It comes out today, doesn't it?
yeah,
Or it came out
and
today.
it's doing very awfully.
Really?
Wow.
Oh yeah,
Isn't it like Tom Hardy.
yeah. It's the third
Yeah.
one, and it only made like 8 million, I think, domestically.
Stop. I really wanted to watch it today too.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I would have to say slime girl, and if I'm going like with a humanoid, it would probably be a gnome or a drow. So
A what?
a drow,
What's it?
like a dark elf.
He either wants
gotcha.
to feel big or he wants to be dominated.
Gotcha. Dark skinned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like if I could get, I mean, I guess the equivalent of the build of Rhea
Yeah.
Ripley, I'll be good.
He either wants
So-
to step on them or be stepped on.
Yeah,
I'll take both.
Drow
In the
would be
Australian
one,
accent.
I think. Yeah, Drow would be intense. That'd be your piece of shit. Take
Yeah.
it.
You're like, yes, please degrade me more.
Yes.
And then chat, remember to send feet pics to Richie, please.
They're gonna fund my trip to JordanCon and LitRPG Con this year.
Nice. But yeah, I mean, actually no, we got 10 more minutes, so I thought that was gonna last longer. But what did that one say?
I mean, hey, Joe already sent me a foot pic with his like toes around my
Wait, am I
camera.
the one on top of
So,
you? Give me a second, guys.
oh fuck,
this-
yeah! I'm all for this. I'm all for this.
There you go, Richie.
Well, that just happened.
Oh, so LitRPG Con is gonna be fucking fun.
For sure. I don't know if I'll be hosting it that time because this is my second time. So I hosted this same panel last year.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'll do 3 years in a row, but we'll see.
Oh no, LitRPG Con's the in-person con in Denver next
Right,
year.
and then July, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I don't know if because I can volunteer. I don't know if I'll volunteer, but we'll see. Definitely hang out and see everyone for sure.
Oh yeah.
But with this whole topic, let's go. At least I think we can hit one more question that we can see here. It's Mary. That's a good question. Weird question here. In one of the spicy scenes, have you ever used pass the jar peanut butter? So has anyone ever used that one?
Nope.
I
No?
should have with my Beastman golden retriever boy, but I didn't.
Ooh.
Missed
Oh.
opportunity.
And then what? So let's dissect that question as well. Is it going to be like chunky peanut butter, like nutty peanut butter? Like what type of peanut butter are we talking about? Like mixed with jelly?
I feel like crunchy would just feel uncomfortable in some
I
places.
Crunchy
Smooth.
seems like it's asking for a yeast infection and also
Yeah.
chafing.
Yeah.
It's problematic on several levels.
Basic bitch craft smooth. Right there you go.
There you go.
Okay.
That's the only way it works.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Prior statement about spit. I don't. Food play. It's all ties into the spit thing. I'm like, nope, I'm good.
It's gonna depend on the texture of the peanut butter too, because I mean, like if we're going like with Peter Pan peanut butter, no, but like Jif maybe. So
Yeah, Jif.
Well, actually, peanut butter I prefer is Skippy. So
Skippy's good.
I like Peter Pan honey roasted peanut butter, but that shit has so many calories in it.
I mean, you'd be burning
Hey,
them off.
you're gonna
at
be
that
working
point,
off
too.
those calories.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Okay.
So there
Working
it
off
is.
the calories, it works. It works itself
go.
out.
Now you just work harder to get that sweet honey peanut butter.
Yeah. So we're kind of getting on towards the end. So we'll have everyone kind of wrap up here, and I think I'm gonna do it a little bit different. I like the way that TJ actually did it for the his last panel, ending it. Kind of say who you are, what are you working on, and then recommend someone else's books for the readers out there. So Stuart, we'll start with you.
I'm Stuart Gross. I do villains as protagonists. I have 5 different series going on right now. Lewd Dungeon, Dark Fate, Reborn as the first boss, System Supervillain, and the OP Lich is a returnee. You can find all that stuff on Amazon. It's free with Kindle Unlimited. The series I would recommend for somebody else is Everybody Loves Large Chess.
Woo! Foxy.
Because Foxy is the tastiest thing ever.
How about cut out there. How about for you, Misty?
I am Mystic Neptune. I write I Ran Away to Evil, which has spicy scenes in Patreon, but also I'm slowly posting them to AO3. So they'll be there for free as well. My current love is a Royal Road book that's called The Princess and Her Dragon Therapist. And I went going in assuming I would fall in love with the dragon, but the princess herself is like chaotic evil and absolutely amazing. And they're so short. They're almost three sentences spoken aloud. Like the princess will say something and then the dragon will say something and then she'll make a witty comeback. And that's the whole chapter. So they're very short, very sweet. And they're absolutely amazing. So yeah, the Princess and the Dragon Therapist, 5 stars.
Nice. And then how about you, Andy?
For me, a recommendation that I have narrated, current series are anything that I've done with Daniel Shinhoven. Most of it has some sort of sexy, like some sort of spicy stuff in it somewhere, and they all have a lot of plot and a lot of meat to them, so they're a lot of fun. Then also a little bit spicier on the whole, it would be like Bastion Knights Dungeon Bound, which should be the next one's recording next month after that, like that. So, but as far as my personal reading that I would recommend, if Catherine Moon, like that's what I just said. Like Lady of Rooksreed Manor. Like it's if you are into monsters at all, it's good. So Catherine Moon, and she has other stuff that's not monster based. So her definitely, she's got Omegaverse stuff and stuff like that too. Depends on your flavor you enjoy.
And then how about you, Richie? Kind of tell the folks.
So for what I'm working on, I'm currently narrating Eldritch Knight 2 by Timothy McGowan. And I'm going to be done with that by the end of the month. Very excited. You can find me at Chat and Stats on YouTube, where we do our LitRPG show. For recommendations, though, because I'm currently reading book 3 because it just came in the mail, but Blood Knight by E.D. Sky. It is an urban fantasy harem. Really fun, really nerdy, and it's 3 books, and 4 is coming out soon. I love them. So that's what I would recommend for everyone, especially if you like your monster girls, because I mean there's a succubus, there's a werewolf girl, slime girl, an angel who has forgotten her memories. So it's really good.
Yeah. All right, gotcha. And then because everyone's been asking about it, so Q, I'll just end it off. So I'm Q. I kind of write under TJ Lombardi and working. Thanks, Kyle. TJ Lombardi for Warrior Publishing. So I'll be pumping out a book here hopefully soon. It'll be The Dying Breed Survival. It is not a lit RPG, unfortunately. It's epic fantasy third person omniscient written, and then I might get into LitRPG since I'm enjoying what everyone has written, and then a book that I would recommend. So anything Austin Beck writes, I think is funny and phenomenal. I actually was one of his beta readers for Mana Creamery, which I highly recommend. It's a quick read. It's pretty fun. And then another book that he has is There's a Cat Girl in My Cubicle. So
that one's really good.
That's a good series for you guys to read. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. We got 5 minutes left, so we can talk about more spicy stuff. So let's do that. But yeah, go ahead, Misty.
There is a Korean LitRPG smut book that was adapted into manhwa full color called Altruistic Warrior. So just want you to know it has stat sheets, it has progression, it has everything.
Can you send me a link to that one later?
It's Altruistic Warrior.
Okay.
I will send you a link, but I just thought of it because I know it exists and they're so rare.
Yeah,
I'll probably have to add you on Facebook or something.
There's a lot of hentai LitRPG stuff out there, but it hasn't been translated officially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on the different fan translation sites, you'll find gems like this story, one called Blade Play, where the hero is summoned with his mighty blade that defeats the demons. It's in his pants.
Or the one where it's like, I just want to, he dies and he's with, the goddess. I just want to have like an almighty schlong, and then he dominates her and he dominates everyone in the new world with his almighty schlong.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that just haven't been translated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Record tomorrow night is actually the Fuck, Marry, Kill panel. So if you like the spicier, sillier content, somebody was saying in the chat, like, this isn't the last one, guys. Hang out at Guild if I got. There are more. So
true.
One tomorrow night.
Very true. Yeah. So we'll learn who the authors want to marry, fucking kill. So that's definitely one to. Yeah. So and Andy, you're gonna be on that one too, right?
I'm on that one too.
Perfect. There you go. So that way, hey guys. Time 9 Eastern Standard Time, not Eastern Pacific, not Central, Eastern Standard Time. Because time zones are a bitch, people.
They really are.
I mean,
Just be on the one true time zone, Eastern, and forget all the other ones.
True. There you go.
For the record, people don't know about this. If you use Discord and stuff and you have like multiple time zones you work with, Hammer Time is super useful. It's a website that gives you links that will use someone's VPN to give them the correct time. So if hammertime.io, I believe it is. Just Google Hammer Time. It's there. So it's super useful for Discord and stuff. Like, gotta use it all the time for me. So
also tomorrow, if you want to talk about bad people doing bad things that might involve spicy stuff, the Nice Guys Finish Last panel is at 7:30 tomorrow.
Okay. I'll be off work by that point, so I'll tune into that one.
Apparently Paul is running the other one.
Oh, fuck me.
Nice.
I don't know if I can watch that one or not. Oh, and yeah, after party at 10 o'clock. That's always fun. I told myself last night I wasn't going to be a part of it, and then I ended up not being able to sleep and sat there until midnight.
I will see if I can join, because the issue is my family's here, so my mom and sister are actually sleeping in this bed, and they're probably
let them join in the after party.
Yeah, let them come to the after party.
I don't need them meeting you degenerates, okay?
Hey, we're not degenerates. We're positive.
The more the merrier.
Closet.
No, I'm good.
About to go put my child to bed. It might take an hour. Will the after party, do you think, still be going on?
Oh, it should. Usually, I think, like I said, we were in there till midnight Eastern time last night. So,
awesome.
Okay, and then with that, I think. Oh, we reached. There you go, 9:59. So, Geneva, take us away. So awkward goodbye, guys. Bye. See you guys later.